Operation status quo. Operation status quo. Prepare to engage. Operation status quo. Ready to engage. Operation status quo. Engaged. Engaged. Hello. Hello, people. I see you.
Oh, look at your little face. Hello.
Oh my God, that should get me a thumbs up or a like right off the bat, right? I mean, if you just tuned that in, it's the first thing you saw. I mean, how pleasant and kind is that for me to come in and go, oh, look at these cheeks and they're so beautiful. I love you. Hold on, I got to fix my camera now. Oh, how you doing out there, ladies and gentlemen? Hello and welcome to Operation Status Quo here on a Wednesday as we move through another week. Gosh, next week is Thanksgiving. You know, it's always my favorite holiday, Thanksgiving. I haven't thought about that yet. As far as what to do for the show for the Thanksgiving holiday, probably just the same thing I do every other day, which is just, you know, it's like Groundhog Day over here, right? But seriously, yeah, Thanksgiving. I always love Thanksgiving because, you know, it's a holiday that is not surrounded by commercialism and gifts like Christmas. You know, it's just more of everybody gets together, has a nice meal, and all that type of thing, which is even better for me because I don't see anybody. I stay by myself and have a nice meal, which is beautiful, and I love it. I love it, love it, love it. Heyo. Nah, I like people. But, you know, at the end of the day, you know, how long does it take? You eat something, you're in out the door. Yeah, you might as well just go through the drive-thru and call it a day, you know? Seriously, I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just being playful here, of course, on Operation Status Quo. Hello and welcome to Operation Status Quo. I am Pete Palmer, your user-friendly host, broadcasting live from the comfy confines of my very own home here in Florida on the west side. On the west side. Depends on which way you're looking, where you're facing. You know, this could be west or that could be west, depending on how you're turned around. But anyway, what else was I going to say there? Oh, yeah, Operation Status Quo. Thanks for being here. This is the place where we observe the status quo of life. We learn to flow with the status quo of life. And then, of course, we create our own flow of quo, because that's the only way to go. And that's what we're doing here on Operation Status Quo. We're just kicking it and observing all these little intricacies of life, the little facets of life, the human dynamics, the behavior, the human consciousness, you know, I mean, just so many things. Because ultimately, no matter what we talk about, whatever the subject is, and we'll get into that in a moment here with today's subject is, but you know, no matter what the subject is, it comes back to the same space ultimately of, you know, of the higher essence, you know, of who we are. So that's why we have here on Operation Status Quo. We like to be playful in our approach, you know, because that's what it's all about, you know, bringing smiles to people's faces. I mean, what else is there to accomplish in a day overall aside from just having, like, you know, a soft spirit, you know, a soft way of being, you know, compassion in your heart, you know, kindness towards your fellow man. Doesn't mean you have to hang out with them, talk to them, look at them, but, you know, just kindness. That's all. Just like a general kindness. I'm not saying I want to hang out with people. I'm just saying I want to be kind to people that I do see. And I think we should all be. And I'd rather, honestly, we can sit in our homes by ourselves and emanate kindness. And we probably get along with each other a lot better that way, because it's only when we get together with other people that problems start to surface. Why am I saying all this today? I really like people. I'm really social. I don't even understand why I'm going down this path. You know why I'm going down this path? I want to tell you why. Because as much as you love people, and I know this myself, as much as I love people and you know, just wanting to embrace, you know, a community, there's just so many dynamics to people's personalities. And today's world, I mean, I think it's really just a stage, quite honestly, because before it was easier, but now as time has gone on and we're in the throes of this nonsense and chaos in the world, you know, I think it's harder to, you know, relate, because everybody's kind of on edge and not sure, you know, what the hell's happening. And then you have multiple levels of generations, like older people who, you know, lived a whole life before all this way came, even before COVID, just like before the technologies and such, right? And then you got like my generation that was kind of, you know, in the middle, and then you got these younger kids that are coming up, like, you know, especially if you're really young. I mean, maybe like you were just like a couple of years old, you know, COVID started, or, you know, just say you were like 8, you know, 4 years ago. Now you're 12, 13 or something, you know, you're starting to move up in that direction. And, you know, all you know is like all this crap that's happened. So anyway, it's just so many dynamics, and quite honestly, I'm going to get into what I'm going to get into right now. But one last thing to say, you know, quickly, is that, you know, I was thinking about this a little bit today. Maybe I'll expand upon it, you know, on another show, another day. But just to reiterate, because I've talked about this before, it's just like how much everything is like a psyop, and a mind bleep. It really is, because ultimately everything is just our physical world is just manifestations of projected energy, thoughts, whatever you want to say, and powers that be to keep everything going. And this is why we're doing Operation Status Quo, and I'm saying observe life, and then do what you got to do for yourself, because ultimately there's people out there that know a lot of higher truths than we're taught in our general day to day, and they're using that information against us to keep us, like this little cattle and everything that we are, living in this world, this this slave system of economy, education, and everything else that they do out there. So just be mindful of that stuff, and at the end of the day, we have fun. That's all. We put a smile on our face and we have fun, and we know that there's bastards out there, trying to keep us under control, right? But we don't have to let them do it. All right. So today, ladies and gentlemen, is the 15th of November in the good year 2023, and today's program is entitled Age of Anger. That's right, Age of Anger, because I came across, again, like I researched my little information, online to see what they're talking about out there to the general population, and I came across some information talking about basically some items that this is more geared towards men now, and I figured this would be good for me to read because, being that I'm 50, I'm kind of right in the middle. I'm getting older. I can see the younger side. I'm still not so old that I'm just like, a total curmudgeon. But, I'm getting there. I'm really working towards being, a really good curmudgeon when I get older. But anyway, so these are some items that men get annoyed with as they get older. So let's dive into that today, and I'm going to speak on it because as a man that is getting older, we'll see how relevant these are. And please feel free to participate and contribute as you're watching along. Drop your comments in the comments field there, or if you're here live with me on the chat, drop in on the chat and let me know what you're thinking and if these things get you angry. So here we go. Number one, being in crowded places is something that men tend to get agitated with as they get older. Once upon a time, a bustling marketplace or a crowded festival night might have felt invigorating, but as men age, the noise, the jostling, and the sheer volume of people can start to grate on the nerves. Peace and quiet become commodities that are more highly valued, making these busy environments less appealing. Well, I will agree with that. I've never really personally cared for crowded places. And this is even when I was younger. I mean, I've gone to plenty of places that were crowded, but I used to always think to myself, like, a lot of people like on a weekend, like, because I lived in like South Jersey area, so Philadelphia was right there. Who wants to shoot down into Philly? Let's go down the old city. Let's go down to this and do that. I don't want it. No. I don't need any of that. It's like, where is there going to be the least amount of people? I try to find the bars or the restaurants that less people would go to. Like that's not the hot spot. This way, I always have a place at the bar. It's always there's people, but not too many people. I mean, think about it. Who wants to be stuck in a crowd? Like all those people who go to Times Square for New York, I would never even consider that ever in my life, unless I was in a helicopter maybe or something above it, or something like that maybe. But there's no way I'd be standing there. So crowds, I understand that. So far we're 1 for 1. I agree. I'm becoming a cantankerous old man, ladies and gentlemen. Problems with complex tech gadgets. Technology is advancing at a breakneck pace, and while that's exciting, can also be overwhelming. Older men might find the latest gadgets laden with features they don't want or need, leading to frustration. The abundance of options and settings, once a plus, can now seem more like unnecessary complications. I'll agree with that too. It's not even about that the technology is bad. Things are always changing, right? But it comes like to a point of like, whatever your baseline is of what you learned when you were at a younger age, right? And you're used to that, and that's how you do things. So when the new technology comes out, it's like, oh, I already have this. That's enough. I don't need any more. But if you don't keep up with what's going on, then you're kind of left behind. And I realized that myself. Like, I took television production classes and such when I was in college and everything. And I used to do video editing with the VHS tapes and the equipment that they had for doing that. Even when I worked in radio, I used reel to reel for a time, and I actually did a recording where I recorded, like a show and I actually spliced the reel together. not that I would want to do that now, but what I'm saying is, like, when all this new stuff came out, really I didn't catch up for a long time. Like even getting an iPhone, I didn't get my first iPhone until I guess it was 2013 or 14 that I got the 6, whenever that came out, the 6S, and I held that. kept that success until just a couple of years ago before I moved down here. And the only reason I got the 13 was because I was moving and I wanted to have good navigation on the phone and such. But I agree, it's too much with all this technology. I'm waiting for it all kind of to come together in one type of way where you just like, remember when you watch some of the Marvel movies, the Avengers and stuff, or even just the Iron Man, and the way Tony Stark is making his, Iron Man, and it's all this like, graphic, thing out in the air. Like, I should be able to just like touch my glasses and a little screen pops up and I can go boop, 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 boop. Like, I'm waiting for that to come before I learn any of this. Just too much separation. Like, even with TV, that's why I can't stand it. Like, if you want to watch this show, you got to be streaming on this app. If you want to watch that show, you got to be streaming on that app. And it's like, I just want to turn on the TV and see what's going on. But unfortunately, that's not the way it is today. So I agree. So far, we're 2 for 2. 2 for 2. Let me hit the bell. Bing! 2 for 2 so far. All right, here we go. Let's see what else we got. Seeing sensationalized news. In younger years, the sensationalized aspects of news might have been compelling, but as men grow older, the drama and the hype can seem excessive. There's an increased drive for straightforward news, minus the theatrics, making sensationalized headlines and stories a significant annoyance. So far, just to say, reading these, I know this article is, likening it to men, but I can see why not women get aggravated with these same types of things. Like I never cared for sensationalized news. You know how I am with the mainstream media. I really don't have to go down that road and explain that, right? So, but truthfully, I think this can work out for both, which is good because can I even, as far as I know, I'm a man, but in today's world, that might be frowned upon, so we don't want to label ourselves as what gender we think we might be. It's just, we should just let the government tell us when it's time for us to transition. Okay. All right. Let's see here. What's next on this list? Impolite younger generations. Yes. I think that's anytime someone's rude, it's going to cause a level of anger in a sense, but you definitely realize with the younger people, these kids today, and there are a lot of these, for me, I'm just speaking from my perspective, the difference of human communication that I experienced growing up compared to what the younger generation is today. Like, they're such a different dynamic. They're not wanting to even speak to anybody, right? Like, they're all just kind of caught up in their technology and their social media world and all that, as opposed to, actually being able to, just like I'm doing with you, see how we're communicating here? See how you and I are communicating here and having a good time? That's all. It's really simple. We don't need all the other rigmarole. Loud restaurants and cafes. I kind of spoke on that when I talked about the crowds, right? It's the same. It's really the same thing. I'm not looking to go to the hotspot club where it's and the lights are flashing around. I'm not going to do that again. We did that yesterday with the lights. I'm not going to do that again. But yeah, I agree with that. I don't like anything loud. And just to speak in general, like as I get, I don't know, I find so much solace in being on my own. It's the craziest thing. And thank God for COVID, really, in a way, because otherwise I'd be forced to be more involved in social situations that I really don't want to be involved in. But because of the way the world has changed, it's really been a great thing. And it's not about, listen, let me make this clear. It's not about not wanting to be around people or not liking people or not being involved or whatever you want to say. It's just a matter of like how you really want to spend your time. There's a lot of distractions in our world. And, to go back to what I was saying kind of in the beginning, just talking in general, that we're energetic manifestations and such, we're energy. We shouldn't be looking for everything that distracts us. Right. So a lot of these things are good advice for any age. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's instead of getting distracted by all what's going on in the world, why, if we find our center and then just engage, in a peaceful kind of calm way instead of always trying to make things happen. We got to make things happen. We got to do things. That something's got to happen. Nothing's got to happen. All you got to do is relax. Battles with unreliable service providers. Well, that goes without saying, and that doesn't have to be any age. That could be any age in today's world. Again, the way everything is structured, the business structures are, the work ethic, everything. I don't have to tell you what it's like to call your cable company or your phone company or, gas or electric or somebody and get something taken care of. It's a real pain in the ass. And I prefer a lot of times to just let the problem persist. Like even here, I'm renting this place. There's a couple things that probably could be. I got this one toilet, for example, that, it just keeps, running. And I had it with two toilets. I'll be real quick because I wasn't, they came and did like an inspection of this house, like, towards the end of my first year of the lease. This is something that they normally do just to check the place out and make sure everything's okay, blah, blah, blah. And I told them the one toilet here, is running all the time. I had turned the valve off so it would stop running. I got three toilets in this place. I'm by myself, so I don't need all three, right? But anyway, they came and they fixed that one. After they fixed that one, now another one is doing the same thing. And I'm like, well, I'll be damned. They'll be back next year. I said, they'll be back next year. That's like in the second bathroom. I don't even use it. You know what I mean? So, you can lighten the load is what I'm saying. We in our lives, right? If something's not working, for me personally, if something's broke, as long as it's like usable, that I can still, I find ways around is what I'm saying. Instead of having to go through the effort of bringing people in and dealing with all that. I don't want to deal with it. I don't need people here to do, I can figure it out. And if it's something that's major, whatever, the air conditioner breaks or something, yeah, I'll give you a call. But otherwise, don't call me. I'll call you. All right. Another thing that angers men as they get older, so they say here, are hassles with unexpected software updates. Software updates are necessary, but they can be disruptive. Just when you've gotten used to the previous version, along comes an update to throw you off. And they're saying for older men, this could be unnecessary hurdles to their daily digital routine. So, that's part of it. I don't think this is something particularly for. I would think anybody, as technology is always continuing to grow, no matter what, you can take it back 4 generations ago. When different technologies came out, it was a big deal, probably an intrusive way to them too. But anyway, you can probably set your computer to not get the software updates. Just disconnect and just keep using the old system. Get back on that. What was the old one what was that first one with the dial up? Not AOL? But yeah, it was AOL. I thought there was another one I was thinking of. But anyway, just stick with the old technology. Let's see, getting telemarketing calls, that can agitate older people as well, older men. But I would think that aggravates just about anybody, any kind of unsolicited intrusion into my life, I would find aggravating. Forget about telemarketers. If somebody knocks on my door, I'd be like, what the frig? Like, who's knocking on my door without telling me? Who can that be knocking at my door? Go away. Don't come around here no more. All right? A little singing for you today. You guys know I like to do that here on Operation Status Quo. How you feeling out there? Are you enjoying yourself today? Let me know in the comments. I appreciate you being here. Please like, subscribe, and share. It really helps the channel, and I appreciate it very much. Seeing inflated prices, that's another thing that gets the rage going in the older men. But again, ladies and gentlemen, everything I'm saying here, right, could pretty much be, I don't know why they had to say it to older men. They should just say shit that pisses people off. That's really what this should be, entitled. But seeing inflated prices, well, if prices keep going up, people are going to get ticked off, right? I get ticked off when I see the same stuff that I bought keep going up and up, and it's just like, well, I'm not making any more money, but the shit keeps going up, doesn't it? Oh, this is a good one. Yeah, I agree with this one 100% right here. Excessive political correctness. And anybody who knows me, especially aside from the show, I really keep it clean on this show, ladies and gentlemen, believe it or not. Well, mostly. I'm sure if I went back through some episodes, I've said some crap. And I probably will continue to say crap because mostly of what I say is crap. But no, seriously, excessive political correctness, that always bothered me. When I first started working in radio in the 90s, is right when all that was just kind of, coming into fruition. And I was so against it. And I pretty much whatchamacallit, always tried to, I want to say, that's the thing that I'm really learned with doing this show here on YouTube. Because, when I brought it back, my show 3 years ago, I was, it really was, again, like, because of COVID and, our wussified world, I was really, outspoken in that way. And, I moved on to Operation Status Quo to try to, still be myself, but bring it forth in a little more of a, peaceful kind of encouraging way, as opposed to, creating division vision. Not everybody's going to agree with what I say and think I'm this, that, or the other, and that's absolutely fine. But the truth is, even the people that I disagree with, like, for everything, like the whole woke agenda and, everything that's basically just like everything in our mainstream, it doesn't mean, excuse me, that, I dislike the people that, really, believe and live that way. Like, we're all humans and we're all trying to, do the best we can to, get through this life, right? And we should, and again, going back to saying being kind, just, you don't have to agree and you don't have to get involved, but you can be kind. All right. Let's see here. Well, I don't have to get into it. We all know about political correctness and it's total. What's really crazy about political correctness that gets on my nerves? It's not even about political correctness, like, political correctness. Like, there's a difference between, being polite and, like, just fucking around, like, or being really, or I should say being really rude, and just effing around, like there's a difference between, like, an intentional negative something towards someone to hurt their feelings, as opposed to, whatever, making an ethnic joke or something like it. I don't know, like, and I don't know. I come from, like I say, I come from younger, raised a lot by my World War II grandparents, that generation, right? It's just another mindset. So, political correctness is just like a tool, used by, the powers that be to really silence people and, keep people afraid to express themselves and be themselves, and for us to laugh at ourselves. Like, whatever, I'm Italian. Yeah, tell me I smell like garlic, or, did I eat a meatball yet today or something? I don't know. Hey, your blood type is ragu. Yeah. I don't know. Excuse me. Hey-o. So, you could, it's so political correct. It's just really a stupid thing, especially me from, like, more of like a, comic perspective. Like, I look at the world in an off kilter, funny kind of way. And I just see things, I see, like, the human condition. We have to laugh, right? Because, again, we're spiritual entities embodied in a physical form, which doesn't mean we don't enjoy the physical form. It doesn't mean we're not kind to each other, but we also have to laugh a little bit and go, well, look how ridiculous this is. Like, we're all one energy, yet we're men and we're women and we're black and we're white and we're, and you go down the line of all the differences in different countries, different cultures, different religions, but really we're all the same, still all just the same one energy. That's what's really amazing about it, to me. And yet everyone wants to get upset over everything because everybody takes themselves way too seriously. Well, I can see this one. This is the next one on the list, by the way. Frequent ads for retirement homes. I guess that can get men mad. Maybe they think they're tired of being looked at as that they should be put away in a home somewhere, but that won't happen to me, I don't think. Well, maybe it will. After I have my 6th or 7th stroke, they'll probably have to put me in a corner somewhere as I drool myself to death. I'll just keep drooling and I'll die of dehydration. Encountering bad drivers. Road rage is not exclusive to any age group, but older men might find their patience wearing thin with bad drivers, whether it's overly cautious drivers or those who speed recklessly. The annoyance can magnify over time. And, I will say this, especially here in Florida. I mean, I don't know what the hell people are doing. I think it's this, because some of the traffic lights are just so long that there's, like, nothing else to do but look at your phone. And, it's what I see. I see this all the time. And people are just, like, looking at their phone. The light turns green. You've already been sitting there for 3 minutes. You only got about 30 seconds before it's red again. And, you're holding up everybody else, behind you because you're playing with your phone. I see it so much. It's so annoying. It's like, just go already. And then they putt along. Go, just go. I mean, if you're afraid to drive, don't drive. I don't know what to tell you, but there are some seriously incompetent drivers out there. I'm sure you experience them in your state. Tell me where you are in the world and what you think about the drivers that you encounter. What else is it? What else makes you angry if you're hearing something that's not on this list? Difficulty finding suitable clothing. I'll say this about that. I just want, like I mentioned yesterday or whatever, I mentioned that I went out to get some sneakers and stuff, and I wanted to get a couple pairs of shorts and a couple shirts, and I realized, like, I'm looking around, like, I couldn't find anything. I'm like, what are these clothes anymore? Like, what is this shit, like, even made out of? Like, all the shirts, they're not even cotton. They're all that, like, kind of, whatever material, and I just couldn't find anything. I found a couple things, but not what I was really looking for, and I was disappointed. And I'm in Florida, and I wanted to get another bathing suit, and I couldn't find a bathing suit. They told me, oh, the bathing suits are on the clearance rack. I mean, we're in clearance rack. It should be all year round. We're in Florida, for God's sake, I'm still swimming. You know, it's November. Other people might not be, but I am. I want a new bathing suit, damn it. All right, here we go. So difficulty finding clothing. Let's see what's next on the list. We got a few more of these here. The social media overload. I can get that for elderly people in general, not just men, but women as well. Obviously, social media is pervasive, and while it's a way to stay connected, it can also be overwhelming. Older men, and I would say women as well, may find the incessant sharing, updates, and general noise more annoying than enjoyable, leading them to question the value of staying logged in. So I would just recommend, as I do for myself, I only allow myself a certain amount of time on social media. I'm not there going through Facebook and crap all day long. I check it here or there. I post my show up there, whatever, and that's about it. It's too much. TV remotes with too many buttons. Yeah, it goes back kind of to the technology stuff. You only need a few buttons: on, off, last for the last channel, and volumes. You know what I mean? And I guess guide. You need guides so you can see all the channels. That's really all you need in a remote control. Why do we want to have so many buttons on everything? That's why I stopped playing video games. I had the Atari 2600. I had the joystick with the one button. It was great. I could move around with the joystick. I pushed the button to shoot things. And now, I have to go take a class at a college. That's probably what colleges teach nowadays. I'd have to go take like a video game class to learn how to push all the all the buttons they have. I just got to wait until I can just plug it into my brain and just think of where I want the people to move or play the game or whatever. I like the Wii. I had the Wii back some years ago. I guess the early, when was that? Like 2007 kind of time. You would have the little controller, you do the bowling, you do the tennis. That was a little more interactive. It wasn't so many buttons. I didn't mind that so much. They still make that? I haven't heard of that in a long time. Let me know in the comments. A proliferation of subscription services, and I spoke on that when I was talking about TV. You got to go Netflix for this, Paramount Plus for that, and it's too much. You know what I'm saying? Just put I don't know, it should just be like one fee, like $100 a month, and you can just watch whatever you want. Like everything's out there. Like why do they make it so difficult to get to things? Especially shows like I'll make a good example. Like there's a service I have now for my cable. This particular package, I used to have it before. I always had it before, but this particular package has channels that I didn't have before, but it also has channels that doesn't have channels that I did. It has channels that I didn't have before, and it also doesn't have channels that I did have before. One of which being the cooking channel, and I love Man versus Food, right? I mean, who gives a shit about Man versus Food? Why is that why can't I watch Man versus Food? Why do I got to pay extra to get that channel? It's just like all these kind of channels. Just give people the Cooking Network, for God's sake. Why is it not part of the package? Like I got like all these other channels. Like why is cooking taken out of it? And if I wanted that, it would be like $20 extra, and I would get 40 more channels that I don't need. It would never watch. All right, let's see. Misuse of classic songs and commercials. Well, that sounds like an interesting one. Music has the power to evoke memories, and classic songs often have a special place in the hearts of older men. Hearing these classics used to sell products can feel like a misuse, turning nostalgia into annoyance. I don't generally like hearing songs that I care for in commercials. I'm always like, oh, why did they sell out and do that commercial? Put that song in that commercial. That was the last one right there, ladies and gentlemen. I didn't do it the right way to pump it up for the last one, but that was the last one. What annoys you as you get older? Are you an older man? Hey-o. Are you a younger man? If you're a younger man, tell me, what do you think will annoy you as you get older? Let me know down there in the comments. And I hope this information was helpful. And listen, don't be angry. You encounter these things. It's all about, listen, we're having fun. We're having fun here today, but the truth is it's all about us choosing what we want to spend how we want to spend our time, what we want to put our attention to. That's how we create our own flow of quo, and that's what we do here in Operation Status Quo. We observe life. You see like all those things I read. These are things that are going on, social media, annoying drivers, whatever, but we choose, how we're going to, mitigate those circumstances. If you have to go out on the road on a time that it's going to be really busy or something, you say to yourself, I know I'm going out at this time. It's going to be busy. I'm just going to take my time with no expectation to get there in any type of reasonable time frame, because I know I'm going to be dealing with a lot of dopey drivers out there, and it's just going to be what it is, right? And, we have to just kind of look at life that way and just, kind of find our way, and it is what it is. It's the earth school. It's the playground. Everybody has to learn. Things are going on. I can't stop moving my hands. Please, somebody help me. I think I'm stuck. Oh, God, I think I'm stuck. I can't stop moving my hands. I'm stuck. Hey-o. All right, that's it. I'm unstuck now. Thank you so much for your time to be here with me today, ladies and gentlemen, on Operation Status Quo. If you haven't done so far, please like, subscribe, share, send this out to your friends, your family, those you love, and of course, those you despise as well. As you know, I love each and every one of you individually as well as a group. And until tomorrow, Operation Status Quo, disengaged. I'm buffering. I saw I'm buffering, so hopefully you're seeing the end of the show. I'm going to drift away now as I buffer.